going on? I think I'm going to possibly just talk about the cover art first. You know, I'm all just setting it up. My computer's incredibly slow. What's going on? Yeah, I know, like I said earlier today, my computer is incredibly fucking slow, especially when I stream. So, it might take me a moment from the startup of the recording stream to actually, not really a lot, maybe like a minute tops or so. That's how slow my computer's being today. Okay, that's going. What's going on? I've been converted. I believe. I guess you converted me. Mr. Camerafu. Beautiful. You know, he kind of converted me to the importance of cover art. Oh boy. I said, hey, what's going on? I said, hey, what's going on? I said, hey, okay. Now, I don't know, kind of wanted to gush a bit about the cover art for a moment, just because, I find this is one of the ones where I can't quite decide which one I like better, because obviously there's some nostalgia points for the Tim Jacobus art, and naturally, because of it, looks like a hazy kind of sunset afternoon, where some admittedly kind of creepy creatures are crawling out of the mud, especially given the context of what they are. However, I do kind of like the idea behind the Brandon Dorman cover, where you have these things that were once human now malevolently twisted with the new form they've taken on. That's equally as kind of interesting to me. And I'm kind of recently converted nut for cover art and the importance it plays in marketing and understanding of the book. Sometimes the cover art is actually just as important as the context of the book. Alright, without, let's start with the video. You know what you're here for. You come by. Thank you for that. In any case, so, this is an interesting one, because usually in Goosebumps books we are dealing with a kid who's usually getting bullied. Technically we're getting, well, sometimes we do get a view of the bullies, getting trampled. So we have the man of the hour, Eddie, but he's not our Eddie Spaghetti, so he's not that kind of cool. But, so he's going on a bus trip to the woods, which his teachers arranged. And what's their assignment? What are they doing in the woods of Muddy Creek? Well, they're just going to record the flora and fauna, animals and plants that they see in the woods. Now, I remember quite a fair bit of some of my schooling in middle school. But I'm thinking, like, I don't mean, well, yes, I do intend to make fun of this. Listen, if all you're doing is that sort of stuff on your middle school trip, however easy it sounds, you might be on the short bus. Like, they were introducing letters when I was in middle school. That was fucking hard. Well, to math, that is. You know, I still don't even, I have a better understanding now, but Jesus Christ. Like, it gets so much weirder when you enter chemistry, that sort of stuff. Oh my god. But in any case, I digress. So they're going to the woods, and they have his three friends. You have Hat, who has a serious hygiene problem. Molly, who chews bubblegum with braces. And then Charlene, has a dog. I think it's her dog later in the book. And then you have Courtney, who is the, bully in the book. Hold up, I'm going to adjust my camera. You have Courtney, who's the bully of the group, or the book. And you have her friend, a nothing person named, I don't even remember her name. That's how unimportant she is. So she's basically there to just be Courtney's only friend, I guess. Which is weird because she's kind of popular around the school. In any case, so, during this trip, what happens is Eddie sees a snake and he gets scared by a snake. Hiss. And so Courtney makes fun of him about it because he freaks out and he doesn't take, it's weird. Obviously, no one kind of takes a joke being made fun of very well, but like he literally has a conniption about it. Now, here's one part where I do have to side with Eddie. He and his gang, the Eddie and Co, the 4 people, arrive at the bus when the trip is done and find that Courtney is huddled over with something in her hand, and that she has bees going up and down her arm. Now, cool, she actually has bees going up and down, that's pretty cool. But then she takes those bees and she chucks them at Eddie. I don't know. I think it's unlikely that they wouldn't have stung her at least once. So, considering this, Beastmaster or not, but come on, the bees just trusted you and you chuck them at somebody. That's not fair. Because the bees are Eddie. In any case, yeah, I don't really like that. Yeah, so next what we have is the beginning of an apparent prank war. 2020 gone wrong. In the Goosebump books, gone wrong. I know that's cliche, but I thought it'd be pretty fun to ad-lib. So the first prank that they try. Oh yes, I just the book pranks and the episode pranks are a little different, which is weird because the first one has a big difference that's noticeable so badly. So in the first prank, they decide to scare Courtney with a rubber snake. Now, those who watch the episode, you know what I'm talking about now. A rubber snake. Yeah, I would check that episode out to find the context of that joke. In any case, so they place a rubber snake in the lunch bag of Courtney's lunch. And now Courtney is foreshadowed to share her lunch with everybody. Big foreshadow, 10 out of 10 won't come back in. It will definitely be shot by Chekhov's gun. So yeah, the teacher forgets his lunch, and then Courtney offers to share his lunch. A nice salmon and cream cheese, which I am told is a Jewish dish. I didn't even know that, I didn't care. I just thought salmon and cream cheese was kind of weird. Usually I don't put meat anywhere near my fucking cream cheese on a bagel. Yeah, I'm kind of white like that. Cream cheese, everything bagel. Yum. Yeah, that ASMR for that shit, not gonna be good. But the teacher, of course, opens the lunchbox, the bag, sack, whatever it was, I don't care, and gets spooked by the snake. And this causes him, the prank obviously, to fail because it was intended for Courtney. Which, I don't know why she doesn't rat on them, even though Eddie explicitly says, I think she knew it was us. I don't know. The teachers are such, she has teachers on their side. Understandably, she's kind of a cool, truthful kid, for the most part. Hashtag don't forget the bees. So if she had suspected them, they would have found out, in some regard or not. I get that. Okay. Next prank is that Eddie and Hat steal a spider from the science room. Which, that's one advantage they got over me. Never had a science room. I did, but we rarely ever did a lot of science in there. Mostly we did art. And yeah. But they steal a spider, a tarantula specifically, a fat little hair spider. Though, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of spiders, but even imagining the sensation of that crawling over me makes it a lot worse than it probably is. Even though they, like, literally can't bite you and kill you. So they take it and they keep it until the next day at school, in which they skip the gym, like changing its clothes, and go up to a apparent balcony above the gym. And this actually shows at least the most sophistication, I guess. But I guess Courtney knew what they were doing, because she's like, cause I've seen this sort of stuff before in other media. But, you know, the plan is that while Hat and Eddie stand on top of the balcony, well, my family is coming in, so if you hear loud stuff, that might be why. But the plan is that they stand up on the balcony and drop the spider down onto Courtney, who are lured into place by Courtney, or Charlene and Molly. But predictably, the plan goes awry, and dropped down onto the spider drops down onto Charlene and Molly. Which I don't know what the teacher was doing in between that moment and this. Maybe he didn't even witness it. Maybe he just witnessed them drop it and heard the screams. But the teacher is there up in the balcony and, you know, catches Hat and Eddie and assigns them like a month of like cleaning work in the science room, and then decides to give them like an essay to write on why they must not steal living animals. And that's an interesting piece of workload. Definitely school-like, though if anything, I don't know, detention seems more like a realistic one. You know, I don't understand that. But the third prank is one which it uses a dog. I think it's Charlene's dog. I'm not certain though. But it's a big Saint Bernard that Eddie thinks will definitely not be able to scare Courtney. Now, I've read Cujo. I've watched Cujo. Any dog can be terrifying. Like, no. I mean, especially Saint Bernard, that thing's huge. Yeah, but Eddie's never seen Cujo, I guess. Even though it came out, I don't know, maybe a decade or so before. It's surprising his brother wouldn't have scared him with that movie, since his brother kind of likes to scare him, as most older Goosebumps siblings do. But the plan is to use this weird little, you know, trick in the dog. I don't remember what his name is. I don't want to call him Cujo for, you know, simplicity's reasons. I just know it because that might be a bit confusing. But the dog, Saint Bernard, Charlene found that if you whistle a certain way, the dog reacts violently towards it. And because of this, the dog will growl kind of like Cujo. And this is what they're going to use to scare Courtney, as if an animal's ever scared or daunted her before. So, this is the plan. Yeah, they lose track of the dog. Of course it goes wrong. Why would it ever go right for them? It's literally the work of fate and creation that goes against them. They don't seem to be good forethought, ad-libbers, or anything like that. So, you know, it doesn't go well. Predictably, they lose track of the dog, and, you know, they encounter an even bigger, scarier dog that apparently belongs to Courtney, and Courtney ends up scaring them with their dog. Big Uno switch reverse on them. Yeah. So finally, very dejected and, you know, middle school depressed, Eddie and Co. are trying to think thinking maybe they should give up on the quest to scare Courtney. You know, you can't scare me. Oh, sorry. I thought I smelled the title somewhere. In any case, so Kevin and his older brother have been, Kevin is the older brother, I think that's his name, has been shooting a kind of high school film documentary project for... Hold up, Mom! No! Sorry. But I'm going to try to wrap this up in case, very quickly, in case that's important. But, so his brother has been filming a movie for his high school film project about the urban legend of the mud monsters, which were said to have been people that were washed over by a river flood, and their spirits reside in the muddy creek. So, because of this, every full moon or so, it's kind of urban legendy, so it's not definite. They will rise out of the ground, and Courtney's apparently scared of the mud monsters. In the episode, she wrote a story about them. In the book, she clearly says it seemed to be afraid of most conventional means, much less monster urban legends. And Eddie convinces his brother to, get a couple of friends and scare her in the woods, because apparently she has a treehouse in the middle of the woods. So the plan is set. Eddie now has to take on an immensely bigger workload, being the slave of his brother Kevin for about a month. And now that's in addition to all his school things he has to do. I don't know, the payoff to me wouldn't be that good, but I don't know, guess it's a little skewed by adultness, or what lack of memory of what being a kid was like. Sorry if I pause. I sometimes get done with one bit and then think, what am I saying next? Brain malfunction. So yeah, that's the plan. And at the middle of the night, the full moon uncovers, and you see that Courtney and her friend are just watching from the trees. And then, they see her moaning and all that. Eddie gets spooked behind him, and they see figures appearing, the apparent mud creatures that they had hired, or so they think. But it turns out that when Kevin and co, that being his friends, appear behind him complaining about a front tire, Eddie and his friends realize that those aren't his friends. So, sorry, those are the mud monsters. And yeah, this apparently scares the shit out of them, so that they yell in the night, warn Courtney, those are the real mud monsters, screaming it as hell breaks loose, and they all run frantically from apparent mud monster zombies, which aren't as cool or twisted and disfigured as either of the covers, which kind of sucks. But yeah, and now Eddie and co are just basically scared, and too scared to scare Courtney. They're scared back. Yeah, it's not. It kind of drags a bit, as far as the review. Yes, this review section. It kind of drags in places. Obviously, from chapter to chapter, you can predict that their pranks aren't going to go according to plans. I would have liked if a little more focus on the urban legend of the mud monsters, or it becoming a kind of a less one-sided prank war, basically. Like they have to kind of top the other. That would at least balance it out a little more. But no. I actually remember having a dream one night when I was a little kid about the television monsters, which are derived from the cover art from Tim Jacobus, about them just wandering around aimlessly. It wasn't a scary dream. They're just wandering around as I walked amongst them in kind of a fog around my local elementary school at the time. It was odd. It was just something anecdotal I thought to mention, given the book I was covering. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just one of those things you could read if you're kind of bored. Or you got a long car trip, pass the time. But it doesn't. It does. Or like admire the cover art, like I do sometimes. But yeah, next video will not be King or a R.L. Stine novel. It will be something a lot more darker. Sorry. And have a good night and Happy New Year. It's a couple days away. Next video should be out in a little bit, maybe a few days. Goodbye.